welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a really interesting topic, the global smart lighting market.
Yeah, definitely fascinating.
We've got this comprehensive 2025 report just packed with data. Our goal is basically to pull out the key insights. Where is this market now? And maybe more importantly, where's it headed?
Exactly. It's about understanding the story behind the numbers.
You hear so much about smart homes, right?
Yeah,
But this report suggests maybe the biggest action in smart lighting isn't even there.
that's a key point. And, the first thing that jumps out from this 2025 data is just the sheer size. It's already substantial.
Okay.
And the growth projected out to 2033. It looks really, really dynamic.
All right, let's put some numbers on that. What are we talking about for 2025 market value-wise?
So the report pegs the global market at USD XX million for 2025.
Okay.
And what's really driving the future growth, it seems, is more uptake in commercial buildings, industrial sites, that kind of thing.
Right, not just residential. So looking out to 2033, what's the projection and what kind of average annual growth are we seeing?
By 2033, it's expected to hit USD XX million.
Wow.
Yeah, and that translates to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of XX% between 2025 and 2033.
XX%, that's significant.
It is. And the report really stresses that commercial and industrial adoption is the main engine behind that big jump.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The regional picture. Let's break it down geographically. Who's leading the pack right now in 2025?
North America definitely holds the biggest share. We're talking over 40% of the global market.
Over 40%.
Which comes out to USD XX million in 2025 value. And their projected CAGR through 2033 is XX%.
Okay, so what's driving that strength in North America?
Well, in the U.S., you've got high consumer adoption of IoT devices generally.
Right, people are used to connected tech.
Exactly. Plus, a big interest in energy-efficient smart homes. And government incentives for energy saving, those help too. Then in Canada, you see smart city projects giving it a boost and a focus on green building standards. Mexico's just showing strong growth projections overall.
And how does Europe fit into this global picture?
Europe's a major player, too. They account for over 30% of the market in 2025.
Over 30%, okay.
Market size there is USD XX million.
Are there particular countries in Europe really pushing this forward?
Oh, absolutely. The UK is seeing a lot of activity. Home automation's popular, wireless control too. Plus, energy efficiency rules are pushing LED adoption.
Makes sense.
Germany's also very active. They focus a lot on sensor-based lighting, quite sophisticated stuff, strict energy rules there as well, and significant industrial use.
Industrial. Interesting.
Yeah. And then, France, Italy, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg, they're all projected to see growth too. It's pretty widespread.
Okay, let's shift over to Asia Pacific. What's the scene there now and what's the growth outlook?
APAC holds around 23% of the global share in 2025.
23%.
So market size of USD XX million. But here's the interesting part. Their projected CAGR is XX% from 2025 to 2033.
So higher than North America's growth rate.
Exactly, which suggests, we might see a bit of a shift in global market share over the next decade. Could be interesting for innovation, too, where that emerges.
Definitely something to watch. What are the specific drivers in such a diverse region like APAC?
Well, China is a huge factor. There's growing demand for AI-integrated lighting, especially in commercial spaces.
AI integrated.
Yeah, systems that learn and adapt, plus massive investment in smart cities, ongoing urbanization. It all feeds in.
Right.
India's growth is being helped by government energy-saving initiatives. And then Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, Southeast Asia generally, they're all showing positive growth signs.
Okay. What about the other regions? South America, Middle East, Africa? Smaller shares, I assume, but what's happening there?
Right, smaller but still growing. South America has just over 5% share in 2025.
That's 5%.
That's USD XX million with a projected CAGR of XX%. Brazil's seeing demand for smart outdoor lighting, plus rising incomes and better business infrastructure help.
Outdoor focus, interesting.
Yeah. Argentina's seeing demand for automation, customization.
Yeah.
Colombia, Peru, Chile also showing potential.
Got it. And the Middle East?
Middle East is around 2% of the global market in 2025.
2%.
About USD XX million with a CAGR of X%. Qatar's a driver there, with government smart city lighting programs, big commercial projects, infrastructure work.
Right, lots of development.
Turkey's investing in intelligent energy distribution, which helps. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, also expected to grow.
Okay, and finally, Africa.
Africa is currently the smallest, around 1% globally.
1%.
So estimated at USD XX million in 2025, but still growing at a CAGR of XX%.
Still growing.
Yeah. Nigeria is seeing investment in smart grids, urban electrification, plus demand for affordable LEDs. South Africa and other parts of the continent are also expected to see growth pick up.
Okay, that gives us a really good map of the world. Now, let's break down the market itself. What are the different components, the offerings?
Sure. The report splits it into hardware, software, and services.
Right.
Right now, hardware seems to be the dominant segment. That's, the physical things. Sensors.
Motion sensors, light sensors, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Control systems, the light fixtures themselves, luminaires, and of course, smart bulbs. LEDs are obviously super popular there because they're so efficient.
And what about software and services? How are they doing?
Software is pegged as the fastest growing segment.
Okay, that makes intuitive sense.
Yeah, it does, right? Because the smart part really lives in the software. That's what handles the data analytics, the automation, remote control.
Cloud platforms, maybe AI?
Definitely. Cloud-based control, AI that learns your habits, integration with the whole Internet of Things ecosystem so you can use your phone, voice assistants. That's where the rapid growth is.
Right.
Services are mentioned too, installation, maintenance. But hardware, and especially software, seem to be the main action areas highlighted for growth.
So the intelligence is really ramping up in the software layer. Okay, how do these systems actually connect? Wired versus wireless?
Good question. Currently, wired connections actually hold the largest market share.
Oh, really? I might have guessed wireless.
Yeah, it's often preferred for those big installations, commercial, industrial. Reliability is absolutely key there.
I see.
You see technologies like PoE, power over Ethernet.
Where data and power go over the same cable?
Exactly. DALI, which is a digital control standard, KNX for building automation, those are common in wired setup.
But wireless must be catching up fast.
Oh, absolutely. The wireless segment is expanding very rapidly.
Makes sense for homes.
Totally. That growth is really powered by cloud control, the smart home boom, just the sheer number of IoT devices out there. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
Zigbee, Z-Wave.
Yeah, Zigbee and Z-Wave too, those low-power mesh networks that are great for smart homes. They just offer so much more flexibility for installation and remote operation.
Okay, let's pivot to where this lighting is used. Indoor versus outdoor applications.
Right. So the indoor segment currently has the larger share.
Homes, offices, factories.
Exactly. Places where energy savings, automation for convenience, and just creating a better environment are the big drivers.
And outdoor. You mentioned Brazil earlier.
Yeah, the outdoor segment is growing fast, especially in public infrastructure, commercial outdoor areas, and these big smart city projects.
Like smart streetlights.
Precisely. Streetlights with IoT sensors, maybe adjusting brightness based on traffic or even weather. Remote monitoring, too. It's all about improving safety and cutting energy waste in cities.
Got it. Now, the end users. Who's actually buying and deploying these systems? Which sectors lead?
The industrial sector currently holds the biggest share.
Industrial. Why them specifically?
Well, think about large factories, warehouses. They have a huge focus on automating operations, improving safety, which is critical in potentially hazardous spots, and achieving really significant energy savings. Lighting is a big cost there.
Okay, that makes sense. And which sector is growing fastest?
That would be the commercial sector.
Offices, shops.
Yeah, offices, retail, hotels, hospitals. Businesses are really waking up to the benefits, lowering energy bills, automating schedules, but also enhancing the experience for employees and customers.
Right, creating a better atmosphere.
Exactly. And the report also lists other key end users. Residential, of course, hotels, hospitals again, academic institutions, roadways, public places like parks, monuments, even things like parking lots and swimming pools.
So it's becoming quite widespread. We've talked a lot about the what and where. Let's get into the why. What are the core forces really driving this growth?
The report points to a few main drivers. Number one is the big global push for energy efficiency. That's huge.
Can't argue with saving energy.
Right. Smart lighting, especially with LEDs and controls, just slashes energy use compared to old systems. Second, ongoing advances in IoT and AI technology.
Making systems smarter, more connected.
Exactly. Enabling more sophisticated controls, automation that actually adapts, better data insights. And third, the rise of smart city projects around the world. That creates huge demand for connected lighting.
Okay. But it can't all be smooth sailing. Are there challenges? Things holding back even faster adoption?
Yeah, definitely. The report flags a couple of key restraints. First is the initial cost.
The upfront investment.
Exactly. It can be a barrier, especially for smaller businesses or in markets where price is very sensitive. Second is standardization issues.
Compatibility problem.
Yeah, lack of full standardization between different brands, different technologies. It can make integration complex, maybe make potential buyers hesitate. That can slow things down.
Right, you want everything to work together easily.
Yeah.
Looking ahead now, what trends are shaping the future of this market?
Well, one really interesting area is human-centric lighting, sometimes called circadian lighting.
Mimicking natural daylight patterns.
Precisely. Using artificial light to support health, well-being, maybe even productivity. That's gaining a lot of traction.
Fascinating.
Another big trend is just the continued move towards wireless and cloud-based control. More flexibility, easier scalability, remote management. That's clearly the direction things are heading.
Okay, last big piece. The companies. Who are the main players and what are they focusing on?
It's pretty competitive space. The leading companies are really focused on alliances, partnerships.
To broaden their offerings?
Right. Expanding geographically, too, and constant innovation, obviously. The report lists quite a few key names, signify that used to be Philips Lighting.
Right.
Legrand, Simtobel Group, Wipro Lighting, Lutron, Acuity Brands, Amsos RAM, Honeywell, LED Advanced, Savant Systems, Schneider Electric, ABB, even IKEA Systems.
IKEA, with their smart home stuff.
Yeah, they're Trod for Line and others. Also Dialight, Rab Lighting, Lightwave, Synapse Wireless. Quite a list.
So what are they competing on? Where's the battleground?
Well, several key areas. Developing really good, user-friendly cloud platforms is one.
The control center.
Exactly. Integrating AI for smarter automation and energy saving. Making sure their stuff plays nice with the wider IoT world. Sustainability is becoming more important, too, in products and manufacturing. And, of course, cost. Trying to bring those initial costs down.
The report even gave some specific examples of recent activity, didn't it?
Yeah, a few snapshots. Like January 2024, Lutron brought out new Maestro dual controls with better LED dimming tech.
Okay.
Same month, Legrand showed off new Matter-enabled Wi-Fi lighting at CES Matter, being that new interoperability standard.
Aiming for easier integration.
Right. Activity Brands launched a smart speaker downlight back in November 23, uses Bluetooth and Zigbee, works with Google, Alexa, SmartThing.
Covering the bases.
And even earlier, April 23, they released another smart home-compatible LED disc light series. So yeah, lots of activity focused on making smart lighting more capable and easier to use.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive into this 2025 report, what are the main takeaways we should really hold on to about the global smart lighting market?
Well, I think the big picture is strong global growth, definitely. It's
Yeah.
fueled mainly by that drive for energy efficiency and all the cool advancements in IoT and AI.
Right.
Regionally, North America and Europe are the biggest markets now, but watch APAC, it's growing really fast.
Okay, growth engine there.
Yeah. And technically, we're seeing a clear shift towards software driving the intelligence and wireless connectivity becoming much more common. Industrially, commercial sectors are really adopting this heavily, and it's a competitive field with big players pushing innovation and partnerships.
Really fascinating landscape. It's clear smart lighting is becoming so much more than just, a fancy light switch.
Absolutely.
So here's a final thought for you to maybe mull over. With AI and IoT getting so deeply integrated, how might smart lighting really fundamentally change our living and working spaces? I mean, beyond just light itself, what kinds of unexpected uses or even societal impacts could emerge as this tech gets everywhere?
That's a great question to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.